All right, welcome to the show. Business concepts class. We have been starting to pick away at the next round of VBCs. This is going to be extremely helpful stuff for you guys to be able to get your credit from Western. So just make sure that you guys are keeping as up to date as you can on these. I'm going to try helping out and doing some of the lessons as we go. So that's kind of what today's video is actually going to be about. So I'm going to try a bit of a new method of doing some stuff that I haven't really done before when it comes to this. So let me switch my screen over. And this is the next lesson that we're moving on to. So the first lesson right now was forms of business ownership. I think that one was pretty easy for everybody and was pretty easy to figure out. So what we're going to work on today is just going over the recruiting, resumes, and hiring. You guys can do the reading quizzes and math quizzes on your own. But as far as going through this, this particular part is about hiring people, and we don't do a good enough job in class of going over this. So this is going to be kind of a nice one. But they start off talking about recruiting, and recruiting is a process of finding and hiring the best candidates for any position. Recruiting is about finding good people to work for you. The better the people, the employees that you have, the better your business is going to function. So it's a pretty important step, and it's something that I've been fortunate in my career to have been in on a few times, as far as recruiting and hiring for my own businesses, but also being in, and I try to get on interview teams whenever I can for school jobs, just because I like to see the process and I like to see what some people do. So as far as preparing for recruiting, doing a needs assessment is important, so you know what kind of a person you're looking for and what you want them to do. Creating a job description. What is the name of the position you're hiring for? Create a specific person. Create a person specification. So the profile of the ideal candidate. What skills should they have? A lot of teaching jobs have this. Most jobs, when they're posted, have a list of skills and things like that they want out of like the best possible person they can get. Last part would be then agreeing to pay, upon pay and some of the perks and some of the benefits that a certain job has. They go over a couple other things in here as far as legal issues in recruiting, talking about Title VII of the Civil Rights Act, the Equal Pay Act, and age discrimination. These are all very important things too. Rules like when you have an interview process, you have to ask all of the candidates the same questions, so there's nothing unfair about it, and so there's no discrimination in the workplace. They do get into this kind of weird part about purple squirrels, which I had never heard before until I started looking at this. But they use the term purple squirrel to describe the ideal job candidate. So candidates that are near impossible to find in an ultra competitive industry and possess the perfect mix of skills, education, and experience. A good purple squirrel will also work for peanuts, known as the pay and benefits you're willing to offer, and just happens to live in the same town as your company. So anytime you post a job, it's very difficult to find the perfect person. And even if you have the perfect person, they're likely going to be looking for a higher job at some point. So it is important to also make sure you have expectations that are pretty easy as far as the type of people that you're going to get for it. It talks about a sourcing plan as far as how you're going to find your people. Like LinkedIn and Craigslist are great ways. When you get a little bit older, you're going to want to start a LinkedIn profile because it helps employers find you, which helps you to be recruited. And then we'll get into the screening and interview parts. So like a sample resume might look something like this. And so you have people that are going to say like the objectives of the job they want, the education they've had, their employment history, their professional skills. So a resume is a good way to determine whether the job seeker has the minimal requirements necessary for the job. After that part, after you go through the resumes and decide who are the people that you want to have in, there's typically an in-person interview that happens after that, where people come in and they ask them questions, and you usually pick the best candidates, the top 3 to 5, however many that is, and hear what they have to say. And this is where you can kind of determine who the person is and if they're going to fit with your company, your organization. And then after that, you make an offer to the person that you like the most, and then you bring them on. And onboarding is a process of getting a person accustomed to the way that the things are. At school, we do have an onboarding process where somebody's matched up with a mentor and they take them through, and they meet once a month, I think, for their entire school year. Just to tell them how to use the copier, how to get lunch, or how to, what homecoming is like. So that's part of the onboarding process. And it's an important part of the process to make people feel comfortable. So just make sure you take a look at the key terms that are on here and also some of the math examples. When we get to the simulation part, this is kind of what the sim part looks like. I have not run this one before, but it is, I think in this one, it says you will learn about recruiting, screening, and hiring new employees and making the best decision. You are running a bicycle manufacturing business. 3 welders have left your company. You must replace them all. So if you start recruiting and go to a website like Greg's List, which is pretty funny. So if you click actions and then recruit employees, all right. And under job title, you can select from 9 different jobs. So I think we wanted welders and frame welder. Yep. Is already selected. So create a job posting to post the job. Click OK. And all right, create job posting. OK. And close the window. In the simulation, resumes come in immediately. Click actions and hire employees. Look at the applicant at the top of the window. It will show you the number of applicants you are viewing and the total number of applicants. How many did we get? So we got 26. It's quite a few resumes. However, we are interested in applicants with experience. So you can use the tools on the left to filter the resumes. All right. And openings, education level. Ooh, require experience. So try moving the slider label. Yeah, 3 months go 6 months. There we go. Look back at the area. Actually, no, Kevin's pool has shrunk. We've got 4 people now who have more than 6 months of experience. It's not too many. Let's look over the resumes. Anyway, read the first resume. Do you see any spelling typos? That might be a typo under Thomas's. Courses included. Oop, there's something. Welding of. Yes. Since a resume is a person's first introduction to a potential employer, it should be as close to perfect as possible. Kind of errors in this resume are unacceptable and indicate that the employee will be careless at work. So let's look at the next one. At the top of the Hire Employees window, click the Next button. Oh, I did that already. So read through the resume from this next applicant. Do we see anything wrong with this one? All right. It all looks good. When hiring, it is also wise to check references. Look at the bottom of the resume. Does this applicant list any references? We have experience and education, but no references. That's not good. So no references should be a warning sign. Let's skip this applicant. At the top of the window, click the Next button. The applicant appears to have a mistake-free resume. At the bottom of the resume, click on the References link. Peter Blunda worked for us. It was extremely reliable and conscientious about work. I found Peter took direction well. Awesome. They are positive. Yes. Good. A nice clean resume with considerable experience. Let's make an offer. Close the references window. All right. The applicant's salary requirement is $17.98 an hour. We could offer this exact amount, but the employee might become unhappy over time. Let's offer a little higher. In the lower left corner, make job offer, enter $20. All right, $20 per hour. Probably put a dollar sign in front of that. Oops. Oh, awesome. Yes, he did. The close button to close and hire employees. All right. Click actions, recruit. We're going to Munster.com. Unlike the free recruiting site, Greg's List, this is a simulated paid recruiting website. This is a site when you can't get qualified applicants through the free site, you will likely pay more money but get a larger pool of applicants. So click the close button to close the recruit employee windows for now. All right. So next, your goal is now to hire 2 additional experienced welders and increase your factory's output to 225 bikes per week. To check your progress, click on the working on goal link as each day passes. Use monster.com to get additional applicants if necessary. Be sure to check resumes and references. All right, I'm going to leave you guys here to be able to complete the final part of this. I think this walkthrough has been pretty helpful, so good luck with this, and I hope you guys can get this done by Friday. Good luck.